All right, good morning. So in the last video we talked about the pigs we raise on our farm, both the Idaho pasture pigs and the coonies. And in this video I wanted to kind of go over some of the birds that we raise on our farm. Before we get too far into that, I do have some pigs to feed, so I'm gonna get them fed. You want to come along with me, and then we'll get into the birds. All right, now that we got that done, let's talk a little bit about birds. So I think this will be the 4th year in a row that we've raised our own meat birds. And I believe this is the 3rd year that we'll be raising our own turkeys for meat. So right behind me, or right behind you, we have one of our chicken tractors. And these are our turkeys for the year. So we have 20. They're like the giant white. They're from McMurray Hatchery. These are kind of like the Cornish cross of turkeys. I believe that the grow out time on these is 24 weeks, and I believe that's what we did last year. And they were huge, like almost too big, where they won't fit in ovens and they won't fit in the turkey roaster pans. So we're probably going to be processing these guys just a little bit sooner, just to make them a little bit more manageable. We do sell some of these. They are harvested like mid to late October, so kind of right in time for Thanksgiving. But the way that we like to eat them mostly is ground turkey. My wife loves ground turkey. I love ground turkey. We make, sheet pan ground turkey nachos is kind of like our guilty pleasure meal. We'll make burgers. We just do a lot of stuff with the ground turkey. Meatloaf, meatballs. The flavor's just really, really good. And you get a ton of meat off of a turkey. We grind, when we process them, we'll take the thighs and the legs and the breasts, and we'll grind it up, to make our ground turkey. We do keep, so if we did 10 turkeys, we'd probably keep, I don't know, 6 pairs of breasts, and then the other 4 pairs, so 8 breasts, plus all the leg quarters, we would then grind into ground turkey, and that ends up with a ton of ground turkey. We package it into 2-pound packs, and yeah, that's what we do. Turkeys are great. We only keep them, so this is the in-between stage. We had them in the brooder for a couple weeks. Once they got big for our brooder, we put them out here on the chicken tractor, move them once a day, make sure they have food and water, and then we will graduate them just to an electric netting and a very simple shelter system. And as long as they get big enough, predators, we haven't had an issue with predators yet. Well, hopefully that will stay true, but the electric net does keep most things away, and they get too big for, hawks and stuff of that nature. The meat birds we have right now are back in our brooder, which I'll show you that in a second. And while I'm out here, the other birds we carry, or the other birds that we raise on the farm is our egg layers. Now, over the last year, we've had an issue with a fox, and sadly, it slowly chipped away at all of our egg layers. And so we're starting fresh with a new batch of egg layers, and they are in here, and we've kind of increased their security. And hopefully these guys will start laying soon. Now these are, I believe, Red Star is the breed. We tried the we've tried all the pretty egg layers, and they're fun to have, but the birds tend to be a little more fragile. So far we're liking these guys. We will see how they start producing. They still probably have a few weeks before they start producing. So yeah, one of the things I wanted to go over with our bird is the different ways that we house them. So a lot of farms have, the in-place chicken coops, which require a lot of cleaning and stuff like that. We prefer the mobile chicken coops. So this is one kind of loosely based off of like the Chickshaw from Justin Rhodes. And this is our older one, has an automatic door. I still need to fix the little ramp, but they're getting in there fine. The whole lid kind of lifts off, and we can move it around our property along with the net, and it fertilizes the pasture, gives them a new spot to run around in every couple weeks, and I think it's a really good system for the pasture. All right, now coming back over to our chicken tractor. This is a chicken tractor kind of loosely based off of my buddy Jason from Solo Land. He makes some, and then I just kind of did my own thing with it, but it's this one's longer than normal, so I believe it's 10 feet long, and I built it out of 2x2s, and this has been holding up. This is the 3rd year we're using it, and it's been working out great. I have had it in some like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it hasn't really moved around too much. All the birds were fine. The side walls where the birds can kind of hug up and not get hit by the wind, but it does allow some open ventilation, and it's worked out great. Because we have our chickens, our meat birds, and these turkeys kind of overlapping in timing, I am in the process of building another chicken tractor, and I'll head over there in just a second, and we'll kind of go over that. Let me get these guys fed real quick, and then let's check out the one I'm building that's a work in progress. Hey, buddies. Come on. Come on. Don't go out. Don't go out. Come on. Inside. Back inside. Come on. There you go. You too. Oh, this way. This way. There you go. All right. Here we're at the next chicken tractor. And this is a little bit smaller of the one that's over there. I used actual 2x4s. So it's a little heavier, but based on using that one's still doing fine. I just think that this one will last a little bit longer. So this is the main structure. I'll have to cut out this board right here. That'll be the doorway. I still have to figure out how tall it is. And I'm going to be using these EMT conduit hoops, and that'll be the roof structure. I got to put those on today. I got to build a door, and then I have to attach the walls in the back, and yeah, go from there. I probably need to build at least one more before fall hits. I like to have more than we need. That way I can cycle through them a little bit better. But right now, only having one chicken tractor and a bunch of different birds, it's a little tight. So yeah, I'll be working on this a little bit later today. I'll probably end up moving those turkeys into this one, since this will be a little bit smaller. They're not going to be in here permanently. And then I'll take all of our meat birds and put them in the bigger coop. Speaking of meat birds, let's go over here. I'll show you them in the brooder. All right, so it's a little dark back here, but hopefully you can see me all right. This is our brooder, and what it is it's a cut in half IBC tote that I've propped up in the IBC cage, which I cut down a little bit just so my wife and I can both get in there. And then I just built a simple top. So this just flips up. You have access to them. I got to work on that brooder, or I have to work on that chicken tractor and get it done probably the next day or two, because they are ready to come out. They're mostly feathered out, but it has been incredibly warm. And so I think they'd have no problems. They don't even have their little heat plate in here anymore. But yeah, I believe we have 30 meat birds. So so the meat birds, they are ready to be processed in 8 weeks. I think some people push it to 9 if they want a little bit bigger birds. But we've been happy with the 8-week mark. And the first year we raised meat birds, we left I think all of them whole, and we just realized that me and my wife, we just don't eat whole chicken all that often. So what we've been started doing is we'll leave a few whole just for the occasional, roast chicken, but we've started parting them out, and we just find we go through it a whole lot faster. So it's like one thing with raising your own food is just figuring out what works for you and your family. And, right now it's just me and my wife. So going through a whole bird is, it's fine. But, if we want chicken wings, or we want, to cook a bunch of leg quarters, it doesn't really work out when you have to thaw out a bunch of chicken, cut them all up, and then figure it out. Having it already cut up will work out. Now, like you guys know, my wife is due to have our first kid in October, and so we that might change. It'll be a while before the kid can voice their opinion, but I'm sure our eating habits will change, and what we raise might change, and all that stuff. I am walking in and out. I think my camera's struggling to keep up, but there we go. So yeah, right now we have the egg layers, we have the meat birds, and we have the turkeys. And just real quick, I just wanted to talk to you about Let me get back out here. So with the egg layers, the meat birds, and the turkeys, I want to talk a little bit about what we're feeding them. In the past, we fed them New Country Organics feed. It's a really nice feed, all organic, very, very expensive, and you know, everything's getting more expensive nowadays. So we ended up talking with the guy who our feed dealer, and we ended up coming across it's a non-GMO feed, and I'm blanking on the name right now, but they test for, you know, glyphosate, like the pesticide, and it's all non-GMO, and we've been feeding that to our pigs, and we'll probably transition our birds to it as well. We still have a little bit more of the New Country Organics, but we're really liking that non-GMO feed right now, and it's like half the price. So we're gonna keep going with that right now, and yeah, we're just trying to raise, you know, the most healthy food that we can, and all do it on our own property. So I'm gonna feed the meat birds, and then I have a couple other chores around here, topping off waters and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm gonna get my day rolling. I'm already covered in sweat. It's a cooler day today, but we got a storm rolling in, so the humidity is starting to really pick up. So as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night. Have a good night.